when you're ready.
$30.
Relax.
Okay, welcome to the Capital Planning Committee meeting of 9/11/2024. Before we start the meeting, I'd like a moment of silence for everybody who was unfortunately killed, etc. during 9/11. Thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Slavin, would you like to list off the attendance?
Alan, Sandy, Sam, Charlie, Derek, and John. We have guests Scott Kay and Jimmy Gibberti. Did I miss anybody?
John?
Huh?
Cameraman.
John.
Thank you. Okay, first item up there.
Are you running the agenda or am I running the agenda?
This is your agenda. You can.
Sandy won. Set the minutes of 9/4/24.
Motion to accept the minutes of 9/4/24.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Next year.
We have a discussion with the Water Pollution Control Facility Department Head regarding the funded projects and requests for capital items. Scott, you're up. Let us know what you want.
Yeah, I'd like to request the estimated $500,000 from the enterprise fund to purchase a belt filter press. And what that's used for is to dewater the sludge to a higher degree, so I can bring it to a separate place.
Is this on the plan now or is this new? New.
It's
New way.
fairly new, so just a few months ago, we got a letter from our current disposal location indicating that within the next 5 years, they'll be shutting down and we will not be able to bring our solids in the form, well, our solids there, period. Which leaves the next closest liquid sludge disposal location somewhere closer to New York, New Jersey.
Can you actually officially send us the application for the, so we can add it to the list?
Bless.
So we have paper, just what you just said, just send us something here.
Yeah.
Capital planning, so we have it on file.
Yep.
That will take care of that for us. Anyone have any questions at all, Scott, on that particular item?
Listen, more than just the belt filter
So
press?
the press itself is actually fairly inexpensive because I'd like to get a used one to start with to make sure.
Does it make sense to buy used rather than new long term?
Yeah, it's a fairly simple device, so
Okay.
all the parts are fairly easy to replace. It's a very solid unit, stainless steel. So used or new, the guts, the skeleton of it's the same.
Okay.
And so the actual unit is called $47,000, which is, again, it's been used, refurbished, and tested. The rest of the money would actually go towards 2 roll-off containers and a roll-off trailer to be able to bring these roll-off containers, which the solids will go into, to a new facility. There's one in Raleigh, and then there's it's north of Gloucester, I forget the name of the town, but and then there's another one out near Framingham.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Any
two-
questions?
2 roll-off containers, and what was the other one?
Roll-off trailer.
And that's all part of the whole project.
And Scott, the total amount was,
$500,000, $500,000.
so we're looking, I mean, the actual unit itself, I think capital planning would just be able to approve that, but I don't think that with it being used under 50,000, that's not a town meeting item if they're doing it throughout their budget.
No, right now, no.
What is the price of a new one?
But that would be very expensive. And it'd probably be the entire $500,000.
But can we consider the whole project? Being the press, the roll-off containers and the trailer?
The reason to ask the questions, when we buy like a truck, with the truck, we have the equipment that's required for the truck to get the final dollar price. So why can't we take this plus the roll-off, which is all part of the project?
what I'm saying is I don't think you need that, it's going to capital because you've got it, are you paying it from your budget?
Yes,
I thought you're coming from the enterprise fund.
That's
That's the
that's your
budget.
That's budget.
But that's not the capital line on the budget.
You would have to, if you're voting on the capital, you guys have it within your budget, you would have to bring it out. You know, that's just you guys bringing it out, not town meeting, was my
Yeah.
understanding.
But isn't it my understanding that everything that's capital has to come before town meeting regardless of the funding source?
No, if we have grants or if you've got it
Well,
with
I
all-
know, from our funds. If anything coming out of the enterprise fund that's capital, doesn't it have to be approved at town meeting?
No, why?
We've always done that.
Well, you usually have it at the capital level. You don't, some of your things are capital, it's like even maintenance would be, you know, that's what you're talking about, so this 47K wouldn't need to go.
Something with
But
Yeah.
if we take out the 47,
Right,
then we've got 430K,
right, and those are new items, that would be,
that's the capital.
that's your town meetings.
That's
Yes.
so the 430 is for the
Right.
town meeting.
Although technically, if you already have the appropriation, you don't need a town meeting appropriation for it. You've already appropriated the funds. You have it within your budget.
sewer budget,
I know that.
John, am I wrong on that? With the,
It's already in the budget.
yeah, if you've already got.
So if we're saying we're taking this 400, we're taking this 500,000 out of our annual capital budget of what? What's our budget, 600,000 for capital?
I think it might be higher.
If you think of it just like a line item, so you vote X number of dollars or millions of dollars for your budget for the year, of that $500,000 is set aside for capital. It's just like its own separate line item.
So the 430 would be out of the capital line and the 47,000 would be out of what line?
If you consider it capital, it'd be out of the same line item.
47 is not capital.
doesn't
Then
qualify.
then it's operating, so it's gonna come out of some other line item.
Whatever line
We'll
Scott
take it out of
chooses.
the operating costs.
Okay. Now, we're gonna do this we're gonna go ahead and move ahead with this.
I would
Some
like
of it-
to, yeah, I would like to, and then, you know, honestly, we can hold off on the roll-offs because there's a service that will provide the roll-offs. We just happen to own a tractor already.
Yeah.
So for us to be able to do it ourselves, we can save some money.
I have a question, Derek. If we put the roll-off piece on special town meeting, does that get approved and allow them to do this quicker?
We just said nothing in town meeting.
If you do it, your fastest way is just telling him we voted today and tell him to have at it.
I can't do that today because I don't have
You don't
the
have
information on the agenda.
Whenever your next meeting, town meeting is the 28th of October, so.
Okay, so I'll get the information from you and we'll put it on the next agenda
Yeah.
before we,
But technically, capital planning doesn't need to vote on the 47,000.
you know, not at this particular
Yeah.
time.
So, but I think I appreciate him bringing it forward
Yeah,
to
it's
us
important.
yeah. So people know any input from the capital planning committee, because I think an extra set of eyes doesn't hurt.
Any questions again?
All right, I need help one more time.
Sandy -2.
The 47,000 is a belt press and that would be expensed.
It's a used.
Used press, it's under 50 right now.
And the 430K will come out of the capital line of capital budget line.
Of the sewer department.
I
But
believe
for our
from-
capital plan, do I put in 500,000 and call it a whole bundle?
I don't think there's a problem with that.
You can put it in your recognizing expense, that's all.
So it's and then I think you'll need a vote of the sewer commissioners to release the 430,000 or what have you from the capital line.
Okay, you wanna make a note that the next meeting we have to vote this anyways.
Well, probably it will be on the 5-year plan, so we have to vote the 5-year plan, so that would be included. Would you call it as a separate vote? We didn't do the other projects as a separate vote.
I prefer to have it voted, then it'll be on the plan, then we'll vote the plan as well. Thank you. Anything else in the list there? I know you just got of items you have to increase costs and all that are listed.
No, in fact, this would be a cost saving measure.
No, I'm talking about other items on the capital plan that we have for the water pollution control facility. Are there any items there that are, basically, the numbers are too low with today's costs?
No, not over the course of these number of years.
Okay.
Do we have any of these things that have stars next to them? Have they been completed?
They will start next week.
The engineering for the
Except
clarifier,
for,
That's completed.
that's all completed.
the headworks engineering's been done.
Clarifier engineering done. Swiss Beach line pipe is completed. Aeration blowers is being completed right now. They're actually in place and one is completely operational. One of the two.
It's gonna be a great savings for the
Yeah.
enterprise fund.
Oh,
So we have
How much sleep I
the,
lost over there.
we have, my understanding is we have accepted the proposal for the headworks and the clarifiers construction, correct?
Correct, they will be delivering equipment next week.
They've done the kickoff meetings and
Yes.
stuff like that,
Right.
so.
They'll be beginning to break ground next week.
So if do we still have sludge holding tanks for 61,000?
618,000.
618,000 for sludge holding tanks?
Scott, do we need that?
I
So-
need them.
That's something I don't actually know anything about. We,
So I can remove it from the plan?
yes, please.
thank you.
Yeah, that
12th
makes-
Street.
That makes sense because it's especially with how you're going with this now.
Mm.
And I believe he was using the frac tanks, things like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
so this is a different.
Well, we were doing that because our sludge receiver wouldn't accept anymore, so this press will give us alternatives, so.
Yep, absolutely. So that's why you look at it, we had another setup there. This is actually a cheaper option than what we had already thought
Mhm.
about, so.
12th Street pipe replacement,
I don't know what that is.
shall I remove it?
Yes.
Is that
$1 million.
12th Street
That's
has to be
right.
onset, right?
That's
Is that-
FY 2027. I
Yeah.
don't know, I think that's over closer to like off Hathaway. That's where all the
Are
numbered
those
streets
the
are.
Avs? And
Yeah.
aren't those, I thought, one of them's the Avs, I can't remember.
Oh.
One of them's the Avs and one of them's the streets.
I
Which
think this
is
is
great for
onset.
new first responders and you know,
Houses are up here, the streets are not.
yeah, so if it's
Yeah,
if it's street, it's onset.
I'd
Oh.
leave it,
Leave it?
I'd leave it. I'd leave it at this point until we can get more
You
information.
might need to camera that line.
Million.
Maybe
It's gotta
to,
be camera
Yeah,
first.
I'll have to have Tiff, you might have to have more knowledge.
$1 million for the generators for the plant still?
We don't,
Are we doing that?
It's on the plan, do you need them? Should I keep them there?
generators.
In the event something goes wrong, it would not be a bad idea to keep it there.
The scuba,
It's
It's supposed to be SCADA,
I think it's SCADA,
how do I spell it?
SCADA.
Sandy, you do not wanna go scubaing. That's sort of-
That is
Well, you
actually,
can.
that is actually a profession, sewer.
That's
diving.
that's 4
You
million.
do it.
Is that a valid 4 million?
It's the SCADA system.
Maybe a typo.
I would have to review that one, because
Okay.
right now we have a SCADA system in place, I don't know why we would be replacing it.
We have 3 pump stations, coastal resilience.
Resiliency, yeah.
Haven't we done that yet? Bring up those 3 pump stations?
We did about 80% of it.
So one's at Hines,
Hines,
Lopes,
Narrows, Saltworks.
Narrows, and
Saltworks, yeah.
well, whatever it is called down by the Buzzards Bay Bridge. Those are the
Saltworks.
3.
Yeah.
Have they been See, I thought we had a grant, I thought we did them as opposed to putting this off in 27, 28, 29.
They didn't get, so they did about, like I said, 80% of it. So all the generators have been raised their level.
Mm-hmm.
The lift stations though have not been fully addressed, whereas the equipment within Saltworks is still within the floodplain. And Narrows was supposed to have all storm doors and everything put on there, and they're,
You got the screen door on that.
yeah, that's the.
They actually have storm doors, which are the stream.
We have a storm doors in the front and then a screen on the back, so
Perfect.
Yeah.
Doesn't go out.
they put a screen door in a submarine, I don't know what
Now,
else to tell you.
to finish them, would you be using your expense funds for that as opposed to capital? I guess I'm putting you on the spot, I'm sorry.
I think it would have to be under capital.
I was gonna say it would have to be.
Well, we
because
have
it's
$2
started
million,
capital.
we have 2 million in 27, 2 million in 28, and 2 million in 29. It's on the next page that I didn't copy.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm missing that.
And so folks that may be listening, these are aspirational on these. It does not mean that we have actual appropriation or funds for them.
Oh, granted, this is a wish list.
Right, so this is, and when you're trying to put together, trying to see the needs and the necessity of all the different towns, that's, when people hear this, I just don't want them to think we've got, this plan's probably $100 million plan, that we have those funds sitting out there.
Yeah, I think the object would be to look forward and try to find the next grant to finish the job.
Okay,
There's plenty of resiliency grants on them, especially for.
So,
but should I carry the dollar amount in the 3 fiscal years that are on the plan?
I don't think it hurts.
Yeah, I don't see why not, if I'm,
It doesn't cost
you know.
anything.
Well, the reason being is we truly don't have a very good estimate on it, so we don't have any price proposals or anything,
Okay.
so. And that should be a heads up for us, right, for the leaders of the community plus the residents that this is coming down the pike.
well done, yeah.
Oh, you got one more item there, huh?
Well, it's 3 years out, so I'm not gonna,
No, I'm saying, wasn't there more than one item?
it's 3 years out, so. It says
Oh,
lining
oh.
force mains in 2027 for 10
Oh, sorry.
million, so that's too far out
Yeah,
for,
okay,
we'll just
fine.
leave them there
No,
because.
That's okay. I couldn't remember, I knew there was something else, I didn't know what.
I
Just
just have,
copy that one for us.
I have one question which you probably can't answer. The sewer capacity increase that we're dealing with and stuff, do we have a plan A and a plan B? Because we have it as a future cost or either add a new facility or whatever. Is that $100 million alone there? On the plan there,
105.
aspirational 105. The only reason I'm asking is whether we like it or not, we have to realize that it's a potential expense down the line that we have to look at somewhere,
Oh, yeah, I mean,
you
just
know.
pick a number,
I'm just asking the question.
yeah. I mean,
You know, because the town has worked out with some cranberry bogs to shut them down, whatever, but that's the information I got a couple of days ago, that's not gonna affect the TMDL numbers, how it works. So we're, as the state is, the problem is that we have X number, we have to reduce the stuff going into Buzzards Bay. And everybody knows that we're suffering because everybody north of us, stuff comes down the riverways underground, comes out here, and we have to take care of what everybody else throws us.
They have said that they took that in, that there's calculations in there.
I know. They just told me that it's gonna have to be more than that down the line.
Yeah, but we do know that
My cons-
we will get some credit for those bogs, especially the 75 acres of ADM, because they're not being replicated.
I understand.
ADM will be sending us letters on there. And our sewer and Cranberry were basically half of the pie chart. Was that on the
Pretty close.
Yeah, so half of the pie chart. So taking from anything we can from the Cranberry is excellent.
Yeah, the problem is that most of the cranberry growers over the last 10 years at least have changed what they use for pesticides and everything else, so the change won't be great. I'm just concerned because the residents in Wareham could get hit with some horrible increases in cost down the line. If you don't have every year you delay whatever you have to do, the cost just ratchets up. It's the old Pennzoil thing, pay me now, pay me later. Anybody else have any questions at all on this? Thank
So
you.
I will update the 5-year plan, bring it back to the next meeting for formal approval.
Do you wanna hang on to these so you can take a peek?
Sure.
I can send you this in
You can do that for me, that'd be great.
Sure.
Thanks, Scott.
Yep, welcome.
Well, thank you very much. You're doing a great job. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Stop, we're coming up on negotiations, tell him he's doing lousy.
Just remember, whenever you offer you for pay increase, you want 50% more. I'm available for negotiations too.
Okay.
I used to like you, Alan.
You guys,
I can do.
Hey, Jim.
take it easy. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
See you tomorrow night.
Don't fall,
Yep.
in
See
the-
ya.
don't fall in the elevator, Jimmy. Okay, next item up there.
Discuss the capital planning webpage. Did we get admin help? You were supposed to ask.
Madam, whatever you are, clerk. Sorry.
-2.
Yeah. On there, on the agenda item, it was any other department.
Yes,
So
okay,
I
sorry.
just got two items I thought it'd be good to bring forward. Do you mind taking, passing it down? And this will be the second set.
Okay.
We should probably try and sit closer to each other, so. The first item is the ambulance that we've already approved. We set aside $375,000 for it. But given that the current delivery is 36 months out, we see there's some cost escalators on there. So they brought it up to about $427,000, a little bit over. So it's $52,192, more than what was originally appropriated, which is okay because we've got 3 years. This is with their contingency allowance, you can see of 20,000 and the others. What I think I'd like to do is, and this is probably overkill, but purchase and equip is that transfer another 75,000 from free cash to bring it up to a total of 450,000, just so when we have it, it's we'll be fine. And then John, when we put this money aside, we're still earning interest on it. When we-
Yes,
Yeah,
till we use it.
Do we
till
have
we use it.
do we have to put a deposit or anything down on this?
We're gonna have to do it's probably I'll do an initial deposit on it, we've got the funds to do it.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lease it, there's no reason to lease it if we've got the funding available over
that makes no
the
sense.
3 years, so. I mean, we could set this money aside at a future town meeting, I'd just rather make sure we've got the funds.
So we had 425,000 in FY '28. You're bringing that in earlier?
No, this is the one that we did at the last town meeting that we approved, Sandy.
We approved 375,000.
Correct, so we're gonna
We'd have
add
to push
another
it up.
75,000, bring that to 450. And I think the 28, we might as well put 500,000 in there, I don't think I'm out of line for that,
Probably gonna be higher.
so.
So I'll make a line item for the additional 75,000.
Although we've just had the lowest monthly inflation since the last 3 years, but they still don't think the feds are going to aggressively cut rates enough, so.
Okay,
School
buses.
So, Mr. Chair, do you have for votes on these, or is this just something, what
This
do we
is
do?
just, this is just gonna be an update.
Okay. The school bus, I did handle, actually, both of them, I'm sorry.
You had more?
Yeah. I handed them all out, rookie mistake. On the plan, and I know the school didn't bring these forward, but Mr. Menard and I have been talking about it. You know, the way we operate a large fleet, they've been cannibalizing parts off of them, and we had bought some used ones before. The time of that working is ending, so we'd like to see at least 3 a year being a cycle.
Before.
Yeah, well, we've got 3 right now.
Just
So,
so you know, the number
this-
is 4,
Is
to
it
make it
for-
work.
Yeah, so they've got the quote on here, if you look at, this was for 2 buses, it gives you everything, included the warranty, extended warranty, plus has the camera installed. So we do purchase and equip. If you go to the very last page, it's just a simple, quick and dirty. It's $386,529 for the three, included the 3-year extended warranty. So I would recommend we do 400,000 for town meeting. I'm going to double check with the transportation manager for what, since they've already got the cameras installed, see if there's any additional costs for when we're equipping them. You know, there should be some lettering, things like that. But I'm hoping the 400,000 would take care of that. If not, we'll probably bring it up to 420, 425 or something.
So you're gonna bring this up in fall town meeting?
Yes, yeah.
So
that'd be-
3 buses for 425?
Yeah, so. I just think that we wanna make sure that while we're doing it in this format. And we do, look, we've set it out where it's we've periodically, we've always tested the market as to whether going private is cheaper or more expensive. And it's never worked out to be cheaper, and the way the labor market is right now, I don't think really 6 1/2 dozen, so.
You were going to update the capital plan for this as well.
Yes, I
So
am
we
going,
approve
I
it,
am
it's all
going to
set.
add a line in FY 25 for 425,000 for 3 buses. Correct?
Please,
Purchase and equip.
thank you.
Okay. Any questions from the board? And you have the ambulance, so we're all set there on that. That's it there.
Yes, I know Matt had some things, but he's, you know, he is running around like crazy with their current situation,
Well,
so.
we're gonna probably meet in a week or two, so we have time to update.
As I was updating the 5-year plan with what we received from Mr. Bernard, I was quite surprised that all of the cost for the buildings almost doubled
What's that?
as I went through this. So the lines, the numbers are quite higher than they were in the previous report. As I updated it, it was just, wow, almost doubled every time there was another new line.
Yeah, there's been substantial, and all the estimators right now are terrified of inflation, even though what's happening, so you'll see substantial, which is, you know, I think that's what we are coming across at the fire station, I mean, the police station as well, so.
Yeah, you're in an election year at the end there. Inflation always goes down just before who's ever in place, and the election's over, everything bounces back again.
Well, that's why you see gas
It's a
going
coincidence.
down right now.
Yeah, it's all a game. Okay. Next step.
The website, did we get it, you were supposed to ask if we can get admin help to help clean up that capital planning website?
Haven't gotten this yet because
Okay.
everybody was busy.
Then I will put it
Put it on
on
the
the
agenda for
agenda
next
one
time.
more time, okay.
If only we knew somebody with the town.
Next step.
The bylaw changes, I attached and sent out everybody the bylaw. Division 1, Article 6, Section 3, where it talked to, Section 2, sorry, where it talked about the limits. And Ellen wanted to discuss it.
Everybody have a copy of that?
Mhm.
What I'd like to do is basically on that section 2 there, I'd like to, for a Springtown meeting, because it's too late to do it now, go ahead and completely eliminate what we have and start from scratch. There is a bylaw committee, but I don't believe we need a bylaw committee to write our own bylaw. So I'd like to go ahead and write something up. I want to get input from the town administrator and town treasurer, then have town council look at it and then come back for Springtown meeting with something that's viable. The way it's written up and everything else, the dollar amounts are so far off that it's just not feasible anymore. It also should make it a lot easier for the town administrator to function on capital and non-capital items because the numbers are too low.
Wouldn't it have to be reviewed by a bylaw committee though?
No, we can do our own bylaw and submit it through the town administrator for the town meeting.
And if we want to, we can let the bylaw committee look at it too.
I'm not gonna let them screw around with it. Sorry. You can record that, it's fine. No, this is something we can do on our own. This is under our jurisdiction anyways.
You're sure?
I'm positive.
Okay, good.
It just
The
seems,
man has that coin for a reason.
That's right. Remember, I'm number 5. But what I'm gonna try and do is, I'm gonna try and group different things together instead of repairs and all these other things. I mean, a road project today, you know, the dollar amounts is ridiculous. Repairs today are out of sight, you know, a repair today is virtually a capital item most of the time now.
If I'm repairing a catch base, if I need to go to town meeting for it every time, that's
Can't work.
insanity. you know?
It's like a vehicle, 25,000, you can't buy a pickup truck for 50,000 today. You know, it's, so I'm
But
gonna,
Jerry's been saying that for a while.
we've ignored it for a long time,
Right.
you know, simple as that. Jerry did a lot of great work on it as well.
Good.
But it has to be done because it's not viable. I mean, this thing was voted on 1998.
I know.
I'd like to pay 1998 prices, but that's not gonna happen. So that's my thought there. Is everybody okay with that?
I'm fine. I agree.
Okay, so I'll put something together, then both of you have to review it to
You
see what
see-
works.
When you say 1998, you see the smile on my face. I was in college then. That was a good time.
I think 1998 was also a song of some kind.
Party like it's 1999.
98, but it's close enough.
Prince.
So for the
Before we
next,
go, is there anything else on the bylaws that we have to work on? Anybody have any questions on?
there's only this one section, right?
It's only that one section of the dollar amounts. I also forwarded out to everybody, I think from Mass General Law, what a capital planning committee is supposed to do. As Charlie remembers, when we first put this whole thing back together, our basic plan was to get a 5-year plan and keep it updated. The second piece, which we've never done, is we're responsible also with the town administrator and town treasurer to come up with some kind of plan, short and long term, of how you're gonna pay for things. Just because you throw out a plan doesn't mean it does anything.
What I've seen the same thing, so I've gone through things from P-Town to the rest of it. Traditionally, what you're seeing is they say your capital plan, the funding is pay as you go.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, that is the response, because there's no, unless you're a community that's doing 2.5 overrides every year, there's no way, and that isn't us.
Or you have a dedicated funding source
Right.
that you don't touch for anything
Yeah.
else.
Right.
Right.
But I'm just saying, if we come back basically and say, okay, here's what we have, we know we're gonna have this here. We recognize it has something there, because if you don't recognize it, it's like when capital planning didn't exist. And I think it was Don Bliss who used to go back and forth with, Don says, Alan, we don't have any money. I said, fine, but what happens if you have money? It's too late because you can't do anything. So this is the same thing, that's all. I'd like to be completely thorough on this one. I don't want to put any pressure on the town administration, but at some point we have to recognize that, you know, if you're gonna do a police station and it's gonna be, say, 5-8 years out, we would have some ideas of where the town administrator might find monies. We're supposed to help you, not hurt you. So that's the idea of that.
Meth labs.
Hmm?
Meth labs.
Yeah, I'll give you one of my coins too. Okay. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
All right. Next, yeah,
We need a 7th member, you're gonna ask the BOA,
I already did that.
so that's been done.
One thing I'd ask is, you know, and we have, I can't remember, I believe it's within the charter for the capital planning committee, the makeup. But we do specific titles, like it used to be the accountant, then I think we changed it to finance director. It should say a member of the finance team, because we will change if we're changing job descriptions or we're changing title, if I have a retirement and somebody's coming in as something else, it's not always going to be the same position, so locking that position in.
I think on capital planning, it is the finance, not chair, but finance member.
No,
No,
it got, it was Judy for a while, then we changed the rule, then we changed the charter to make John.
right, it says
Yeah.
finance
It's-
director.
Yes, it's not generic as
Okay, no, what
Derek is
I'm
asking
saying is
for.
when this originally happened, it was
accountant.
Charlie, we had some issues with Mr. Andrews and stuff. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, the town accountant, who really wasn't officially the town accountant, showed up at one of our meetings because of, like, in one day, he made her officially the town accountant. I don't know if
Well,
anybody
anyway.
remembers that one. And that's how the town.
Did you wanna
accountant-
get this charter changed for this town meeting or deal for
No, I'm not
spring?
worried about this town meeting, I'm just saying if we're doing some changes, it's just something we should keep in mind. Well, you know,
Why don't you
there's
just,
rigidity, but you, with the charter, and that's, you know, those are our laws. We also need to put a little, let's call it
Wiggle room.
flexibility in it.
why don't you make us, send us a suggestion of how you'd like to see it,
Okay.
and we'll work it out. Cause I'm not sure, you know, it basically, we have 7 members, I think we had 9 at one time. And there was an issue about who came and who voted and stuff.
Okay.
It's one of the Slaveland rules that came up.
There were a lot of those.
Yes, there was. Okay, what else you got there?
He's talking to you, not me.
How you look at you?
I know.
Raymond, I'm working on it.
All right. Remember, this is a fun committee.
So more generic reference to finance,
Member of the town
Member,
finance
yeah.
staff or team at the.
okay,
Cause I
Um,
don't think we've had the town accountant come to any of the meetings.
No, and it had changed to finance director before, but it's just, you know, as we, those positions are actually, they're also union positions bargained in and such, so.
You could also make the town accountant, you know, a ex officio non-voting member. It's always possible.
okay. Just to clarify, we will want a separate vote for the sewer, 430,000, but not a vote for the buses or the additional ambulance. Correct? We'll carry that under the 5-year plan?
Yes.
Then why would sewer be called out separately? Cause we're not calling out the buses separately.
The reason why is we just had the 47,000, Sandy, it's just like what we did with the school for having that piece of food related equipment
Mm-hmm,
that they didn't need to go to town meeting for, but
okay, so call it out as a separate vote
Right,
as
correct.
opposed to what's included in the 5-year plan.
Right.
Plus
Okay.
the school has that electronics panel they have to replace. Okay.
There was nothing else on the agenda other than anything else that anybody wanted to cover.
If the timing works, if we wait 2 weeks and meet just to finalize and approve the capital plan, we should be okay with that if everybody has a time frame.
just giving you all an update on our fleet vehicles, the 3 electronic. I told you the purchases had fallen through before. We're submitting to try and get the 7,500 from the federal government because it's almost like a grant. So we actually have to send in a 990T or something like a tax form, and they give you the money back because we put 120,000. And you can get 7,500 from the feds, you get 7,500 from the Commonwealth. But I need that to get going to make the pricing work. I'm thinking one of the vehicles, I've been going back and forth, I'm trying to get the police pricing for it, I think should be an electric pickup if it's the electric vehicle, because we do have the staff, they need that every now and then, move it.
Stop laughing.
Tesla electric
Yeah, no,
Tesla
not
pickup.
the, no,
Sorry,
yeah.
that's all I can think of.
I'm sorry for who's ever bought one, but the funniest thing I heard was that they've sold 3,000 Tesla trucks, the Tesla pickup. You now know who the village idiot is in every town who's ever driving that.
You're restricted also because once they hit a certain volume of sales, a lot of the vehicles, you know, lose a lot of their credits available.
Yeah, the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, opened up some pathways, but made it extremely hard to the point when this was happening, we first were going through, I called up other communities, I called up our auditors. Nobody had dealt with it yet or knew what to do. And I could not sign off on those contracts because technically they would be higher than the appropriation, even though we knew it would be under after you got all of them. So I'm
Sure,
trying to
gross.
work through those, so just so everybody knows, that's why they're not there now. And we'd probably be, like I said, the not Tesla right now, the best one is the Lightning, the Chevy Silverado Electrics, just they're coming in too expensive. You
They're
can
not
get,
as good either.
you can get the, you're right around 50,000 on the Lightning through the state bid list for the, it's pretty plain one, but it's got a little bit of the extended battery range too, so.
Yeah, you want the battery range.
Although when
Some of
John and
them-
I were first looking at them, they're saying you get them for 35 like that.
That was,
All-wheel drive?
that was a
All-wheel
dream.
drive, yeah. And then the two other vehicles, I'm looking at some of the electric Chevy SUVs, whether
Blazer, I think
Traverse
it's a
or
Blazer or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, Traverse or Blazer. Traverse and Blazer are almost the exact same price. So if it's-
Chevy GM.
yeah, so if one of them's a little bit better, if you will, size wise or what, I'd rather just go with that and have better, safer vehicle for our folks driving it, because it's not just town staff, it's boards and committee members that utilize those too.
I think with the Lightning, they have like a generator built in the back, would give you more flexibility as well.
Yeah, so maybe that'll be the plan for the elevator.
Don't even go there. We have anything else?
No, next meeting,
2 weeks from today, you
I
wanna
will
do?
not be here.
That's right, thankfully. 3 weeks from today,
2nd of October?
Mrs. Slavin is going to Las Vegas, Alan can't go. Not allowed to travel yet,
Next meeting 10-2 at 1.
if that works for everybody.
Yeah,
Yep.
what I would think is we're gonna try and wanna wrap up what we have for going for town meeting in the 5-year plan, because we need to give the select board and finance committee time to
Do you wanna do ahead that piece next week instead?
no, I think the second will be fine in
Okay.
case we're going.
You say 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock?
1
o'clock, it's
One.
easier or it's too easier, it's up to you guys.
One's usually better. I mean, it's been our traditional
Last
time.
couple of.
1 o'clock's fine with me.
We
Okay,
can do it for next week if time is critical.
Derek said no.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
2:42.
Thank you, everybody.